Buenos dias, bem-vindo ao Villarreal. Hello everybody, welcome back to Villarreal, to the streets of Portugal as we get ready for races 2 and 3 of the weekend here. After a win yesterday for Hyundai's Norbert Michelic, the championship lead was closed down to just 15 points, but Norby struggling in qualifying will start both races here in 16th position, outside of even a points scoring place. And his arch rival Esteban Guerrieri will start on the front row of the grid here for race 2 and in the top 10 for race 3. I'm Martin Haven. Down in the pit lane it's Alex Legui, and alongside me in the booth here is Matt Neal. Matt, this is such a challenging circuit. Every street track is hard, but this is among the very toughest.
Yeah, the drivers are all putting their brave pants on this weekend. It's not one for the faint-hearted, this circuit, especially, and it's, you know, they say that coming from Nürburgring Nordschleife, which is, you know, purportedly one of the toughest, if not the toughest circuit in the world. They would rather be at Nürburgring than here this weekend. But, you know, it's a weekend of mixed fortune. It was a heinous day for the Honda squads yesterday, while the Hyundai crew all made hay in the sunshine. And that has been complete role reversal this morning, hasn't it? In this morning's qualifying, setting up for today's 2 races.
Well, there's our 2 front row men in the blue cap. Esteban Guerrieri, our DHL pole sitter. Marcin Kła had chronic clutch slip from 5th on the grid yesterday. Went into the first corner in 16th position. He'll be hoping for better. On the DHL pole then, the Alfa Romeo of Marcin Kła ahead of the Honda of Esteban Guerrieri, our points leader. Mikel Ashkanar, the best of the Cupras on this grid. On row 2 with Nicky Katzberg's Hyundai, the only Hyundai that got through into Q2. Jean-Carl Vernet, the only Audi to get through, with Rob Huff, the only Volkswagen to get through into the top 12. Then Ivan Muller and Jan Erlesche, 7th and 8th. They'll be on row 2 of the grid for the 3rd race of the weekend, which will be headed up by Thiago Monteiro and his pole-sitting teammate Attila Tashi, the 19-year-old, claiming his first ever pole in the series. Outside of them, 11th and 12th, Girolami and Chekon, 13th and 14th, Vervish and Christopherson. And these places will be repeated, barring incident, accident and penalty, for the race 3 grid. Ted Björk, 3rd in the championship, Norbert Michelic, 2nd in the championship, are down on row 7, and on row 8 of the grid, Andy Prio and Aurelian Panis. Gordon Shedden and Benny Loister are on row 10 of the grid, and Mehdi Benani and Tom Coronel on row 11. Row 12, Daniel Heglerv and Niels Langeveld, both among our 9 rookies on the track. And on the final row, with engine changes, Gabriele Tarquini and Augusto Farfus. Farfus's car heavily into the barriers today and has been repaired for the race. Not quite as heavily as Kevin Checon's car that will start 12th. That was a really heavy impact. His car will also start. So all 26 cars go to the grid for race 1 of 2 this weekend, or this afternoon rather, race 2 of 3 this weekend. And it will be Marcin Kła on the front of the field. Now, all the cars and all the teams are lined up on the grid. For a moment of respect to one of the members of the Scion Racing crew, who very tragically was taken suddenly ill and unexpectedly last night, despite the attention of the circuit medical officers and ambulance crews. He was rushed to hospital here in Villarreal, but very sadly passed away yesterday evening. So it's definitely a bittersweet race day here at Villarreal.
Muito obrigado. Thank you very much.
A tough and emotional day for all concerned at Cyan Racing and up and down the paddock as well. The young technician had a lot of friends in the team and among the other team members. It is a very tight-knit community, WTCR, as World Touring Cars always has been. And the travelling circus definitely missing a member of the family today. But with the agreement of his family, the team will race today and in his memory. A little look there at the repaired Alfa Romeo of Kevin Chekon. Team Mulsanne doing a quick job during the lunch break to get the car repaired after what you clearly saw was a very big impact with the barriers. Matt Neal, any glancing blow on the barriers, we say glancing blow, it's a big hit, the barriers hit back, and that looked like a big shunt for Kevin Chekon, but he seemed okay at lunchtime.
Yeah, he's it's not a good job from the Alpha team, but an amazing job. I looked at it and I thought, well, that's him out for the weekend. But you know, Kevin's not the only one who's found the extremities of the circuit. You know, we're looking at Jan Elishe now. He's been in the wars. He's found the wall a few times. Van Muller in one of the other Lincoln Co's, and the Hyundai pairings. They've, you know, some big scalps have been ending up in the wall. Augusto Farfus. So this morning, and you know, the whole heap of them have been. They've just been having to hang it out. It's an ultra-fast circuit, and you can't leave anything on the table, not on this grid.
Jan Elische and Van Muller both made it through into Q3, the top 5 single lap shootout, and Jan will start third on the race 3 grid, Ivan in 4th, so they're 8th and 7th here as the top 10 after Q3 are reversed for our race 2 grid. Jan started in 3rd place in race 1 yesterday, and using the Joker lap managed to jump the Hyundai of Augusto Farfus to get up into 2nd place behind race winner and poleman Norbert Mikulich. So he's already had 1 podium result, qualified 3rd fastest this morning, Ivan in 4th fastest. Augusto Farfus, after his blow with the barriers, well, the Hyundais were really struggling for pace today in a way that they weren't, but others were yesterday. And Gusto, the first to bring out the red flags with an impact with the barriers today. Kevin Chekon following him in, but both cars make it safely through to the grid. After the crash and subsequent inability to really get a good qualifying lap in for Augusto Farfus, the team have taken the decision to change the engine on his car, and also Gabriele Tarquini's. Tarquini hadn't qualified especially well either, down in the teens, so they're losing very little, and with half the season done and half still to go, a fresh engine now, when you're already on the back foot, is probably a good time to take that back of the grid drop.
It is, and we're just looking at Rob Huff, who's sort of qualified in the middle of the top 10 both times out. So he's slight forwards of 5th, sometimes slightly behind, but it's he's just trying to wring everything out. They came here with real high hopes for the Golf this weekend, and it just hasn't seemed to materialise. And Rob, who's the ultimate street fighter, no matter where you put him on the grid, he'll come up with a result for you. He's just seems to be on a back foot, and he was pushing hard, charging in 4th place in race 1 yesterday, and he just hadn't quite got that edge to challenge for the podium.
Qualified 4th, finished 4th. That was the story of his day yesterday. He will be in 6th place and 5th place on the 2 grids, and swapping sides of row 3 with Jean-Carl Vernet. Vernet 11th in the standings at the moment, and Jean-Carl didn't make it through to the top 5 shootout. So Rob did, so Rob at least got a point for that. And in fact, that breaks the tie with Benny Leuter and Johan Kristoffersen for Rob Huff. He's now on 88 points. The other two of the other Volkswagen drivers on 87. They were in a 3-way tie. JK a little at a loss to explain where the pace isn't in the Audi this weekend. He said that's really starting to pile pressure on the team. They really think that they need some kind of performance break for the Audi at the moment. None of the Audis faring very well. JK in 5th, next best Audi, Fredrik Vervisch, 13th. Only Hyundai to make it through into the top 12 was that of Nicky Katzberg. Katzberg's had an up and down relationship with this track. 5th place in race 1. He's had big shunts here in years gone by in the Lada. In fact, he and Rob Huff were comparing yellow Lada crash notes yesterday, weren't they, in about the woes that they had with that car when it was here a few years ago. But Nicky has taken a wing off on the tyre stack at the final chicane, turns 18-19, the big downhill stop 2 or 3 times this weekend, so he'll be hoping for a slightly cleaner race.
Yeah, well, Huffy, Katzberg and Yadnai Leche have experienced, had Lada experiences around here, and I always say a calm sea doesn't make a skilled sailor, and those guys have definitely weathered a few storms around here in years gone by.
I love that expression. Yeah, that it was kind of the school of hard knocks, literally as well as metaphorically. 3rd on the grid here with Nicky Katzberg alongside him, Mikael Ashkanar, one of our 9 rookies at the track, and he was as wide-eyed at this place first time of asking after free practice on Friday as everybody else. It's one thing running it on a simulator, it's another walking around it. But when you actually go out here, at least at the Nordschleife, they have a little bit of grass between you and the barriers. Here, there's barely even fresh air, and in some cases, not even that. And that's when it's all going right.
Grass and visibility.
Yeah.
Being able to see through the corners, through to the next section, even though a lot of it is you're airborne on the Nordschleife and high speed, it's the lack of visibility. You're completely blind going throughout all these big committed corners.
One of the other really dominating factors that the drivers talk about here is the number of long, high-speed, downhill corner braking areas, which you just don't get on the Nordschleife. And those are the real danger points, where if you're a fraction off, you're having a big one.
Then bottleneck points of the circuit as well. So the circuit narrows. You know, when we get in car with these guys, you can see them working so hard. The rear's going, the front's going, the rear's going. And this is from 150 mile an hour, 240, 50K plus, into little tight chicanes where they're going to bounce from one side to the other and just try to keep it inside the Armco.
Tough day yesterday for points leader Esteban Guerrieri. Started Saturday 45 points ahead of Norbert Michelitz's his closest rival. Finished the day only 15 points ahead. They had to turn it around, and today they have, aided by the fact that Norby couldn't find the pace in the Hyundai that he did yesterday. He was nearly 4/10 slower in qualifying than the lap that got him pole for race 1. Our pole sitter, though, is Ma Qinghua, the driver from Shanghai. Raced here before with the Citroën team in the TC1 cars and World Touring cars. He's been away from the track for a couple of years, but after Friday's session and Saturday to really dial himself in, he was 5th on the grid on Saturday for the first race and then had that clutch failure that really just shot him out the back door. Now he starts on the race 2 pole. The DHL pole sitter, Ma Qinghua, in the team Mulsanne Alfa Romeo Giulietta. And this, I kind of wondered a little when we're in Q2 why they didn't shoot to get him into Q3. He had the pace again to get into Q3, but that might have left him in the middle of the grid. By opting to try and get 10th place, that puts him on pole position. And maybe Team Mulsanne and Alfa are not wrong in thinking that a race win is more important than making Q3. And that's the chance that he's given himself with the pole here. Cars rolling off in Villarreal for race 2 of 3, the first race here on Sunday afternoon. And this will be an 11-lap encounter. We can add up to 2 further laps if there are 2 or more laps of safety car. So this is not time certain. This race runs to distance. And we have had a fair number of full course yellow, red flag and safety car interventions over the years. Support races have been out on the track. You can see a long trail of oil up into the first few corners where somebody spilled their guts, and there's one further round the lap as well. Ma and Guerrieri, Ashkanar and Katzberg, Verne and Huff, and then Muller and El Ashe in all blue, row 4. Montero and Tashi, the KCMG Honda duo, the fastest of all in qualifying this morning. Girolami and Chekon, Vervish, Kristoffersen and Björk all start in points-paying positions. Norbert Mikelic does not, nor do Prio or Panis or Shedden or Leuchter or Benani or Coronel. And Hagloff and Langeveld move up, as do the drivers in front of them, because Gabriele Tarquini and Augusto Farfus have both had engine changes from the Hyundai team, and they will start on the final row of the grid. Esteban Guerrieri following around behind our pole sitter Marcin Kvar, and very little opportunity really on a slow formation lap like this to work much heat into the tyres. Plenty of warmth in the air though. Esteban Guerrieri with a 15-point lead over Norbert Mikelic, 46 ahead of Ted Björk, 55 ahead of one-time points leader Nestor Girolami. Fred Vervish and Mikael Ashken are now over 80 points behind. And for Guerrieri, after a hard work Saturday, whether he's first or second or third, he must finish this race with as many points in the bag as he possibly can to keep his nose in front in the championship before we go into the summer break and the flyaway races. Heat haze shimmering over the streets of Villarreal in the Douro region in the mountains of northern Portugal. Martin Haven, Matt Neal with the WTCR TV crew here. Final European race day of the season. After this, they go on the ships, the cars at least, and head off to our next round, which will be on the streets of Ningbo in China. And then the flyaway races will continue to the end of the season and indeed the end of the year.
Just so you know, I still have the vibration on the car, so if it's the rear rim, copy.
Well, Matt Neal, that's not something you want to be feeling on the formation lap, is a vibration on the car. And he hasn't reported it after the outlap from the pits, so he may have had race tyres fitted on the grid, and they may not necessarily be
could be
quite
a number
what
of
it
things,
needs.
buckled wheel, small flat spot on the tyre, which they haven't picked up or something. This has definite ingredients for some from Sparks at the front. Mar will be desperate for a win. Guerrieri desperate to get into the front, maximise his points. And you got Katzberg and Huff, always fast starters, and aggressive drivers will be pushing for a podium. So it's got all the ingredients, this one, Martin.
And a narrow street circuit is their playground. Here we go, buckle up tight. Final two cars form up at the back of the grid here in Villarreal. DHL Polestar to Marcin Kvar in the red, white and green of Italy on his Alfa Romeo. Esteban Guerrieri, the points leader on row 1. Mikael Ashkanar and Nicky Katzberg would love a podium finish and maybe more here. Good start this time from Mar, who went from 5th to 16th with a failing clutch at the beginning of the first race. Now he's got the lead, and Guerrieri must keep the door shut. You could see Ivan Muller looking up the inside there, didn't get a run on Rob Huff for 5th position. Muller, the first of the two blue cars. There's Ted Björk going a long way around the outside. Kevin Chacon in the Alfa made a good start. Björk flirting with the barriers there. There's lots of oil dry down there. That could have been a really major mistake by the third place man in the championship, but he and Norbert Mikelic seem to have survived the start at least.
Amazingly well behaved first lap and clean first number of corners.
Oh!
That's gonna, one of the Audis.
That's Benani and Langeveld getting into the back of Langeveld's Audi. Mehdi Benani and Tom Coronel going inside him, but that's the outside up to the next chicane. Doesn't get by Mehdi, has to tuck back in. There's not room in any of these chicanes for 2x2, Matt. Well, Mar, mercifully, the brand new clutch that they fitted overnight has worked, and he's got the lead. That, I don't want to say it's half the job done, but at least it gives him a fighting chance.
Yeah, it looked like Ashkanar, as I was saying, was slow to react, but then he got the power down very well and sort of pulled that back, and so it was status quo as they all marched up to the first corner.
Jan Erlaché already backing up the pack behind Ivan Muller.
Move before the sun. Before the sun. Copy that, we will report.
Well, that's interesting because obviously the electronics will report as well. Now, whether Ma moved or not, whether Esteban is correct or not, will be decided by the stewards, but if he did get away before the start, then that's a big problem. Now, look at what is happening with Erlaché. Erlaché is doing exactly what Farfus and Katzberg did yesterday, backing bits of the field up to allow a gap to their teammate in front. Why are they doing that? For the joker lap, to try and give Ivan, in this case, Jan's trying to give him enough room to do the joker lap and not get stuck in traffic.
Yeah, there's a lot of tactics. This is the only circuit we come to on the calendar where we do have a joker lap, and it was introduced because of the notoriety of how hard it is to overtake around this tight, twisty, high-speed street circuit. What they do is they can't take it for the first 2 laps. So lap 3 is the first point. Doesn't cost a lot, maybe between 1 and 2 seconds, but it's enough just to make a jump on someone. If you can just get the undercut or overcut, either way. But again, touring cars, it's a lot more about tactics, team tactics, working with your teammate. It's not an individual sport.
Attila Tashi there getting duffed up by Frederick Vervish. He's got Kevin Chacon behind. Tashi is in 11th, Vervish 12th, Chacon 13th. Behind him, Christopherson and Björk. And Vervish having another look. Looks like Tashi may have a little bit of an issue, and that's going to be a problem for the KCMG Honda because he is due to start race 3 on pole position.
What I am impressed with, Martin, is Kevin Chacon's pace.
Yeah.
In what was left of the Alpha.
Well,
and he's holding his own very well, isn't he?
Yeah, he started 12th. He's got back down, been pushed back down to 13th. He was pushed out a little wide at the start of the field, start of the race rather, but he's there in 13th. Look at the gap between Muller and Erlaché. That gap is already 2.19 seconds. Needs to be about 3 for safety. Ma at the chicane, only 8 tenths ahead. Guerrieri almost let him get some breathing room early on in the lap, but now is starting to close again, and he's bringing Ashkenar and Katzberg with him.
Yeah, Jean-Claude Vernet's Audi got the jump on Huffy and Muller at the start, but I don't think he's got the ultimate pace in that Audi this weekend. So you can see as the race goes on, I think you're going to have Huff and Ivan more over the back, clawing all over the back of that Audi.
Yeah, the problem for them is they can't get out from behind the Audi by taking the joker lap, because that'll drop them into more problems further back. But that's what Ivan is shaping up for. He's going to stick right with Vernet and Huff and hope that Erlaché can push everybody behind them further back and allow Ivan to take a joker lap at the end of lap 3, the earliest possible advantage, and get himself back on track in front of his nephew and safe from everybody else. And that might be his only chance of a trump card.
Oh, lock up off Mar there. I was hoping, I know the Alpha's light and it's racy, but I was hoping Esteban Guerrero would be putting under a wee bit more pressure. He seems to be on the defence from behind rather than on the attack, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, maybe Guerrieri hasn't quite got the pace in the car that he needs, but again, the critical thing for Esteban is not to finish with 0 points. He must take points. Where's Norby? 16th out of the points. Ted Björk, 3rd in the championship, currently in 15th, 1 point. That means everything that Guerrieri scores in this race is absolutely to his
interesting tactic from Attila Tashi, because he has been super fast.
Well, let's hear from Jan Erlaché.
Okay, gap 2.9. That's good. Gap 2.9. Now there is a big gap being made by Tashi, so we can joke with the van at the moment.
All right, that's going to work well. Now, Tashi is backing the field up to allow Montero, his teammate, to do the jump. Whoever's in front backs up the field. So at the end of lap 3, so there's confirmation. At the end of lap 3, Ivan is going to go, and the hole is big enough for Ivan to get back in front of Thiago Montero. And because Tashi is backing the rest of the field up, then Erlaché will also go through the joker lap and drop into the gap ahead of Tashi. So here we go, Guerrieri goes. That's why he wasn't attacking. He's just going joker lap. Through goes Vernet, through goes Muller. Expect to see Erlaché as well.
Huff's on
Well, Huff will
Guerrieri.
go by.
Is Huff going to get Guerrieri? It's close.
Oh, Guerrieri gets back out in front of Rob Huff. That's a fantastic joker lap by Esteban Guerrieri. Now in front of him, Katzberg must stop, Ascona must stop, and Ma must stop. That's fantastic. Huff has not taken the joker lap. He's still behind Guerrieri. So Guerrieri, if Huff really pushes hard, can let him go, and as long as he doesn't drive away, he'll know that he'll get the place back when Huff jokers. Farfus in the pits, by the way, with issues, but all sorts of strategy going on.
Okay, Nicky, Guerrieri joker, so keep the position, defend the position, please.
Right, so telling Nicky Katzberg to defend whatever else happens if Guerrieri comes calling. It's not about Katzberg's points, it's not now anymore about Farfus, and realistically, even about Gabriele Tarquini. It's about trying to protect Norbert Michelis's chances as much as possible across that four-car Hyundai squad. Well, Verne and Muller have both stopped there, 6th and 7th. Ma leads from Ashkanar. They've still to make their joker lap, so has Katzberg. They're going to keep Katzberg out as long as they can now to potentially hold up Guerrieri and just sacrifice him in some way. Further back, Erlache, when he did his joker lap, came back out in front of Montero, so that was a net gain.
Yeah, they're going to try and cost Guerrieri as many points as they can. If they can trip him over and pull him back behind Huff or Ascona, you know, it's every point's going to count in the fight with Michelitz, who's lying down in 14th place at the moment.
You can see all the green J's on your leaderboard. Those are drivers who have jokered. In comes Ashkanar from 2nd place. Now, will he get back out in front of Katzberg? No. In front of Guerrieri, could be. This could be really dangerous. No, he makes it easily in front of Nicky Katzberg.
Wow.
Now, did we not hear the team saying, just hold up Guerrieri? They did say defend, but wow, that was remarkably easy for Ascona. I thought he was going to fall in between Katzberg and Guerrieri. Whoa! On board with Tarquini right behind Aurelian Panis. In fact, that's Norbert Michelis. So Panis 16th, Norby 17th, and damage on the front of his car. He's clouted a wall or a tyre stack or a rival, one or the other. And he's got Benny Loister and Mehdi Banani and Daniel Hegloff right behind.
Yeah, it just shows a bit of a look at the big risk of taking your joker lap later on. I mean, this place is so easy to pull in a safety car for red flag or anything from anywhere. If you don't take your joker lap, everything is wasted, all your hard work.
Great shot from Mehdi Banani's bumper cam as he tried to get his nose inside Benny Loister. I wouldn't say there's no love lost between the VW teammates, but there's definitely no team orders, and Norby's pulling over. He's going to be heading into the pit lane. Now the stewards are going to investigate an incident between car 5 and car 31. There's car 31, the damage on the back of Kevin Checon's car on the right rear, maybe from the barriers. But no, it's from Norby. They both straight line the chicane as Norby just got into him under braking, probably on that oil that's down there.
Well, he got into him again, and whether Chicon was slowing the car a bit more than Norby imagined or whatever, I don't know.
Norby was further over to the right, maybe even more on that oil and quick dry that's
but it
over.
looked like Chicon slowed on the exit because they both straight lined it, and then he ran into him again on the exit.
But Chicon trying to figure out where he was going to rejoin without ruining somebody else's race and picking up a penalty in that queue of cars. Big lock-up from Rob Huff. He comes down into... Ooh, and that was close to the blue lines there. You've got to stay between the blue lines for the joker lap. Huff takes his joker, comes back out in front of Erlache and behind Ivan Muller. Marcinkois still leads. Ashkanar in 2nd, having done the joker.
You want me to try and create a gap to speaker question? There's not much more I can do now. Let me know. On the next lap. We do it on the next lap.
All right, so he's going to joker on the next lap, Katzberg, and that's going to give Guerrieri 3rd, probably. Guerrieri 1.1 behind. Drive-through penalty for Norbert Michelis. Well, that's neither here nor there. He's running last and coming back to the pits anyway. His race is ruined, but Marcinkois, 2.2 seconds ahead of Mikel Ashkanar, who's now got the hammer down, fastest race lap. 2 minutes 2.45.
2.2 seconds down, half a second out of him that lap.
Yeah. Ashkenar needs to stay in touch with Marcin Kvar. He might win this race. We've had the youngest ever pole sitter. Norby's in and out, so he's gone through for a drive-through. Well, and that was his second hit with Chekon. Again, I think you're right. Chekon was going much slower than Norby expected. Here, it's an error. And then he tries to pick up speed. And Chekon isn't picking up speed, and Norby is kind of caught out there.
I'd sympathise with Norby on that one,
yeah,
if I'm honest.
Yeah. Well, stewards don't sympathise, they just penalise. Verne versus Muller. This is for 5th position. They've stopped. Katzberg yet to do his joker lap, because it's not a stop. Sorry, yes, they have jokered. Katzberg hasn't. Marcin Kvar hasn't. Katzberg has now been told on the radio, not this lap. The gap's not big enough back to Guerrieri. They're trying to allow Nicky to gap Esteban so he can come back out and deny the Honda driver a podium. Mar's done his joker. No, Mar's in the pits. What's happened to Mar? Where's he gone? It just said in on our timing screen, just popped up with in, not joker. So Mar has done his joker lap, and
now he's in second.
And now Ashkenar leads.
How's that work?
Well, it now shows on our screen that he has done the joker lap, but normally it flashes up on the timing screen in sector 3. Joker, it flashed up in. Oh!
What did he lose there?
Well, he bumped over the chicane on the way in. He got in too deep, hit the chicane, and had to really anchor up. He gave away much more time there than going in fast had saved him. So Mar in second, Katzberg third, still to joker. Guerrieri fourth. Katzberg may well drop behind Muller if he leaves it much longer. And he heard him asking the team, what else should I do? There's nothing else I can do. And in the end, he's done what he can do.
Martin, I think I just heard 24 Italian clipboards being thrown on the floor.
Yeah. Augusto Farfus in the pits. Norby's been in for a drive-through, and Gabriele Tarquini is retiring his Hyundai. This is not a good day for Hyundai. Well, Mikel Ashkenar with a new fastest lap again last lap. No wonder he's quicker and got ahead of Marcin Kvar. He's just set 2 fastest race laps, 2:02.360 now. Ashkenar absolutely flying in the Cupra, and he is the only Cupra in the points. Panis is 17th, Coronel is 21st, and Hegloff is 19th.
He's just got to hang on 4 more laps. Can we have another first race winner?
He's got a head on him, hasn't he, Ashkenar? Well, we had 2 out of 3 races won by first-time winners when we were in the Nordschleife. Both races on Sunday will won by first-time winners, Johan Kristoffersen and Benny Leuchter. And you're right, 3 more laps and Ashkenar will be another first-time winner. And a rookie on the circuit to boot. Norbert Mikelic now retires, so 3 of the 4 Hyundais have pulled off. Joker lap finally for Daniel Hegloff, drops him right to the tail of the field. And we still have Mehdi Banani and Benny Leuchter in their Golfs to do theirs. And Nicky Katzberg. What's the plan, Stan?
Can you confirm Joker? Confirm Joker? No Joker. No Joker. We call it just push. No Joker at the moment. Nicky, wait for us. We call the Joker. You keep pushing.
What they're doing, though, the problem for Katzberg is that actually this lap he's now being held up by Mar.
Yeah.
By the end of the lap he'll be actually pushing Mar. A lot of damage on the front of Norby's car consequent to that contact with Kevin Chekon.
Yeah, Mar's holding him up.
Mar's got a little damage on that right front corner as well.
It just looks like ride height's running very high.
I think that's all part of the BOP process. Ride height, amount of boost, all of that, weight you carry.
The fastest lap for Mikel Ashkenar.
Yeah. 140.9 kilometers an hour average. That's 98.7 something miles an hour.
Oh, Ted Bjorg looking.
Yeah, well, see now, Björk's in the points. He daren't make contact. He's up to 13th.
Here goes Katzberg.
Yeah. Well, Katzberg, eventually he had to
This
go.
could cost him dearly.
Well, it's not about him. It was about trying to take points away from Guerrieri. In the end, it's not about Nicky. You know, any race he does now, it's not about him. They're going to try and give Norby the points. Norby had no chance in this race after that contact with Chicon, double contact, drive through, yada yada. So Katzberg now racing for himself. If he can get ahead of Jean-Carl Vernet, he would do well to do so, because in fact Vernet's 11th, Katzberg 12th in the standings, and they're only 4 points apart. As of now, Vernet will open that margin. If the positions change, 5th and 6th, I can't tell you off the top of the head what that will do in terms of the maths. But it will definitely benefit Katzberg. Ashkenar, if he wins, will be a first-time winner. He will not be the youngest ever WTCR winner. That is held by Jan Erlaché, and will be unless Attila Tashi wins race 3. Will, however, be the first time that a Cupra has claimed a race win. This is still 3 laps, or 2 after this, away though. But for Esteban Guerrieri, this is exactly the solidifying run that he needed, isn't it? There are the other 3 Hondas, Girolami, Montero and Tashi, all in the points, 9th, 10th, 11th.
Yeah, it just shows how close the field, doesn't it? When you've got Attila Tashi, who's on pole for the next race.
Down in 11th.
He's locked into 11th,
yeah.
And it's a bit of a status quo there.
Well, in the top 20 in qualifying, the biggest gap between one car and another was 0.17 of a second. And there was only 3 gaps, I think, that were as much as a 10th in the top 20. Everything else was down in hundreds and thousandths of a second. It's brutally tight, Matt. Really, really, you know, you blink and suddenly you go from being 0 to 0. Andy Priaulx under pressure for 16th place from the yellow Cupra of Aurélien Panis.
Two laps to go for Michael Ashkenar.
Yay.
Oh, I thought he was slowing then.
I thought he was slowing then as well. No, it's just the slow exit off the corner. Goodness me. Tarquini back out on track just to check that the car is fixed for the next race. Norby will be in 16th position for the final race of the weekend as well. Gabriele Tarquini will revert to what his previous position was, which I don't have after qualifying, but he will be a little further up. Having started at the back with an engine change, you hope that it was car damage and not an engine problem.
Bjork's looking, he's sniffing.
All round the back of Fredrik Vervisch. Vervisch with a 5th and 2 second places in the Nordschleife, and then a 24-hour race win, of course. But the Audis do not have the pace here. They're all struggling. Jean-Carl Vernet doing a great job in 4th place. And actually that team could really, or all 4 Audis could really use a little bit of competitive edge right now. As of now, should they finish the way they are, with Norby scoring 0! Ted's run out of brakes there, hasn't he, down the hill? It will be a 31-point margin, and Ted opting to go straight rather than slam into the back of Vervisch, because that would have been a big shunt, Matt.
I don't think he was going to run into the back of him, he just bailed.
Yeah. Well, if he tried to make it round, that would not have happened, would it? Here's our race leader, final lap for the young Spaniard, Mikel Ashkenar. We had the youngest ever pole sitter. He won't be the youngest race winner, because, goodness me, he was born almost 23 years ago. He'll be 23 later this month. but a great opportunity for last year's TCR Europe champion to claim the first win of the season for Cupra. Jaime Puig, the boss of Seat Sport, is here. Seat Sport build the Cupras, they build the Audis and the Volkswagens as well. And Jaime will be super pleased to see an Iberian win for the Spanish brand, and also to see a Spanish driver claim that win. Esteban Guerrieri in third, still trying to find a way of taking second from Ma. Never leave points on the table. Keep pushing until just after the checkered flag. And that Honda is quick. The Alfa stretches its legs down the straight, Matt, but if there's half a chance, does he go or does he stay?
The problem is the Honda's the second heaviest car on the grid, next to the Hyundai in the balance of performance, and the Alfa's going to be super light. It's so tight and so committed around here. I think he's got to take that. Unless he can pressurize Ma into a little mistake, he's just got to take the points.
The other three Hondas, Girolami, the black and white car, and then the sister cars of Montero and Tashi. They are 9th, 10th and 11th, so Honda will have 3 cars in the top 10, but Cupra claim victory. It is the first win of the season for a Cupra, the first of the series for Mikel Ashkenar. It's not his first podium or the first for PWR Racing. Both drivers for PWR have had wins. There's Jaime Puig with the bald head in the background. He is absolutely as joyfully pleased as I thought he would be. And PWR, the rookie team, the small team from Sweden who dreamed big, have the first win for Cupra of the season. The final day of racing in Europe, and they have a win. Right from Marrakesh, from the very first practice session, Ashkenar and Hegloff on a track they didn't know, in a championship they were new to, that the team was new to. They were right on the pace, and now they have their first win.
We win a race of the World Championship, Mikel. We win a race. ¡Qué buena, equipo!
Well, that's left him rather cold, clearly.
I think he's pretty pleased, isn't he? Yeah,
Well, do you know what? Look, he made it work, didn't he? Front row start, he had the chance, and he really made it work. A succession of fastest laps after taking his joker, and he closed down Ma Chinquar. He put the race leader under pressure, and Ma couldn't get it through the joker lap neat and tidily enough to hold on to the lead. Ashkenar had done what he needed to do and took a really well-deserved victory. For Ma, second place, well, at least the car didn't go backwards with that burned-out clutch like it did in race 1 when he started in 5th on the grid. And a podium for him and for Alfa Romeo. Alfa haven't had a win this season. Cupra hadn't either. And who knows, it may come yet. But that was a great fighting race from Ma and from Esteban Guerrieri. Yesterday, he was on the ropes. Today, he has bounced back into the middle of the ring, and he opens the margin to 31 points over Norbert Mikelitz. And Ted Björk scoring as well, just in 13th place, creeps a little closer to Norby, who got a big fat 0 for this one, I'm afraid.
He'll have got points on his licence, maybe.
Yeah, that's true enough.
But not that he deserved them, I don't think.
No. Mikel Ashkenar, by the way, jumps to 5th in the standings. A rookie driver with a rookie team, his first time ever on this track. He claims his first win, and those 25 points fire him up potentially into championship contention, or at least top 3 contention for the end of the season. He's 75 points back from the leader, Esteban Guerrieri. And The 86 Honda comes in third place, with Mar second and Ashkanar our race winner. Parc Fermé, job well done for Esteban Guerrieri. Started on the front row, finished on the podium. Matt, it's exactly what he needed after Saturday's disappointment.
Well, you could say he had rotten luck yesterday, but you could say he had amazing luck, because with the spark plug breaking, that can do untold damage.
Yes.
If it goes inside the engine as it is, it's gone straight out, you know, the debris are from it, so they've been able to replace it, bore scope it. It's all okay, because if they did an engine change, then suddenly he'd be back at the grid and the pressure would be back on again. So yeah, he can breathe again.
Well, those are the brakes you need, aren't they? You've got to have the car, you've got to have the team, you've got to have the driver, but without the luck, when things like that happen, it's really, really tough.
Askanar's just want to go home now, isn't he? He's like, whoa.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he is going to be absolutely cock-a-hoop. And what a way for him to end, or not quite end, but to perform on this track. His first time here. And Mar as well.
In contrast to Mar, who's, well,
no, the
giving him a hug,
Alpha team, I think the
one
Alpha
that got
team
away.
are very happy with that. They're on the podium for the first time this year, and they're getting close. They are getting close.
That was their win, though, Martin.
They had a chance, didn't they? But look at the speed of this kid. He is a very happy boy, and rightly so. Well, we talked to Attila Tashi after claiming pole in the top 5 Super Pole shootout, saying that's a birthday present come a week early, and that is Mikel giving himself a birthday present 21 days early, 18 days early. So Esteban Guerrieri, all smiles again. He didn't let his tail drop yesterday, just one of those tough days. And Matt, if you can weather them and bounce back with a result like that, then that does the world for your confidence, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing all these guys. I think it smiles. A lot of it, I think, is relief getting to the end of it. You know, when you speak to them, you know, they are in. It's fear that's keeping them in the barriers, out the barriers, should I say, around here. And a lot of these guys, they'll be relieved to get away from here without being in the wall. You know, the ones that have got away, and you know, if they get on a podium and get a win or a strong result, it's an even bonus.
Well, a win and a new lap record for Mikel Ashkanar. And he is with Alex Legui.
Our 10th different winner of the FIA World Touring Car Cup by Oscaro, and his first win of the season. Mikel Ashkanar, when you came into this weekend, you said there's no place like home. This is effectively your home race, but I bet you didn't even slightly expect to be standing on that top step.
No, not of course. At the beginning of the weekend, we were thinking difficult weekend for us because it's our first time here in Villarreal, street track. Difficult track to go fast here. You need a lot of laps and a lot of confidence, but we improved a lot during the weekend, and this morning on qualifying we did a very good lap, so we improved a lot. The car was great during the weekend. We improved also the car, and today the car was great. I was with more confidence, and the race, what can I say, is unbelievable to win here in Villarreal, street track, difficult track, with my people, because there is my people, my family, my sponsor, and all of my people. And yes, we did an amazing job in the Joker lap. We overtook 2 cars, and the pace was great because I feel very confident with the car, and it's unbelievable. My first race win in WTCR in World Championship is crazy.
You and the team are forever surprising us, I have to say. And you've now moved up to P5 in the standings.
Wow. This is the good thing P5. We have chance to win the championship, and we need to continue in this pace. And the championship is very long, and we will see in Malaysia which position we are.
Great result, well done.
Exactly as you said when we were hearing from 19-year-old poleman Attila Tashi, not just his command of the car and his ability to thread record laps around this circuit, but for the young Spaniard, his command of English is exceptionally good as well. He is exactly as charming and unaffected as he appears to you on camera.
That's what I like about a lot of these new youngsters. They're very quick, but they're very humble and grounded, aren't they? If they do it, they're not giving it the big yahoo. They're just so chuffed for the people around them and the people, you know, with them to enjoy the experience, and the fact that they're even just doing it there in the first place, and the win's even better.
So excited, isn't he? So excited to be here and doing this thing, you know. And the same with Daniel Hegloff and every member of PWR Racing, and they have been such a joy to add to the championship. I have to say, you know, all of the newcomers, the influx of new drivers and teams this year, it's just been really, really entertaining. Just adds to the competitive nature of the championship and adds to the friendly nature.
Great raft of new, younger drivers coming in, because the establishment has been the establishment for so long, you know, with other generations coming in. But this new breed, they are coming in, you know, with the likes of Jan Erlaché. And there's different personalities, you know. Erlaché is very sort of laid back and cool and everything, and then you get the bubbly ones.
Exciting Latin temperament, Well, look at Esteban Guerrieri, 31 points clear, and Ted Björk closes a fraction on Norbert Michelis. Nesta Girolami still just in fourth, ahead of Mikel Ashkanar. It's quite a Latin top five, isn't it? 2 Argentines and a Spaniard, 1 Hungarian, 1 Swede.
That's got to kick off, hasn't it?
Yeah. That's a good party going on there if they all finish in the top 5 in Sepang. A lot of racing yet to go here, though, in this WTCR series. Race 2 of the weekend in Villarreal. DHL pole sitter Marcin Kwar making a good start. Very slow getaway for Gordon Shedden in the Audi at the tail of the field. But this time, as in race 1, everybody making it safely around the opening lap. Jockeying for position with Frederick Vervisch getting into the back of Nesta Girolami. And Aurelian Panis also receiving a love tap. Busy street circuit means that overtaking is very difficult. As a result, the Joker lap introduced. Damage for Kevin Chacon and Norbert Michelis after double contact in the downhill chicane. Norby received a drive-through and then retired, one of 3 Hyundais to retire. And there was obviously an issue with Chacon's car as well. It slowed dramatically as Norby was picking up speed out of the chicane. Leader Mar took the Joker lap really badly, and after a couple of record laps put Mikel Ascona on his tail, the Spaniards took the lead. Esteban Guerrieri hanging on in 3rd place, ahead of Jean-Carl Vernet and the only Hyundai to finish, Nicky Katzberg. But our 10th different winner of the season, Mikel Ashkanar, maiden win for the young Spaniard and for PWR Racing, and the first win of the season for a Cupra. Time to draw breath, I think, here in Villarreal, as they get ready to prepare the cars in the repair time, which allows them to be refueled, retired, and any other damage or work that needs to be done on the cars must be done in that 15-minute period. Well, one of the things that PWR Racing are going to have to do, Matt Neal, is somehow tie down Mikel Ascona, who'll be as high as a kite after that first race win here.
Yeah, I must admit, Martin, you know, it's not been a good start to the year for the Cupra side of the championship, you know, the Cupra shod cars. And I was actually questioning it because a lot of other manufacturers have invested in big-name drivers, high-profile drivers, bringing them and placing with them with selective teams.
Yeah.
Cupra or Seat have decided not to do that. And okay, they've got some pretty handy people in there, but they've decided not to go that route. And I was sort of starting to question, is that the wrong move? But, you know, Mikel's just proved that wrong, and you know he's up there and he's 5th in the championship, and you know he's still young,
and PWR have just done a great job with both cars. It's been really impressive.
Here's the Mar again. Oh, what happens there?
Second race this weekend of the FIA World Touring Car Cup by Oscaro. Please welcome onto the podium in 3rd position from allinkle.com Munich Motorsport, it's Esteban Guerrieri. In 2nd position from Team Mulsanne is Ma Qinghua. And please welcome onto the podium from PWR Racing, your winner, Mikel Azcona. Representing PWR Racing is Emil Axelsen. And now the national anthem for both PWR Racing and Mikel Azcona. Ignacio Ribeiro, Tourism of Porto and North of Portugal, will present our 3rd position trophy to allinkle.com Munich Motorsports, Esteban Guerrieri. The City Councillor of Villarreal, Jose Maria Magallanes, will present our 2nd position trophy to Team Mulsanne's Ma Qinghua. João Paulo Rebelo, Secretary of State of Youth and Sport, will present our winning driver trophy to PWR Racing's Mikel Azcona.
Fidelidad will present our winning team trophy to PWR Racing's Emil Axelsen. Now, please come together for your official photographs.
You can tell Emil wasn't a racing driver, can't you? Rally co-driver maybe, but the three men on our podium definitely of proper racing driver height. And as a mark of respect to our colleague from Cyan Racing,
So much for
we
joining
will
us
not be
for
having
our
champagne
podium of
on
race 2
this
of the
podium.
FIA World Touring Car
In
Cup.
addition, of course, the drivers have to get themselves back in the frame of mind for race 3 of the weekend. And for PWR and Mikel Ashkanar, that might be easier said than done after their first win. Whatever else, it's going to take a while to wipe the smile off the face of Mikel Ashkanar. Our race 2 winner, Alex Legui, is with him.
Wow, I never had this one, eh?
Say that one more time for us.
Yeah. Yeah, feel a good feeling. It's amazing. My first win in WTCR. It's crazy. I cannot believe that.
You touched on it earlier. This is your home race, or
Yes.
effectively your home
Yes.
race. We don't have a race in Spain. You've got so much support here.
Yes, I have a lot of people from my side, my family, all of my sponsors, friends, and yes, all of my people, and this is great. To win my first win in WTCR and in World Championship with my people is great, because yes, you can win in Asia or in China, and you are alone there. But this is amazing feeling. I never had this feeling, and I am super happy, and I cannot believe that. Really.
You must just be constantly pinching yourself this season, because each time I see you up on the podium, you're like, we never ever expected this at the beginning of the year.
No, for sure, because you know it's the most talented grid of years. This championship is my first time in WTCR in World Championship, and my team also. So before the year, our expectation were not this expectation. So now with this win and with the 3 podium position, we are in a good high level. And yes, we need to continue in this line, continue improving, and maybe in future to be a world champion. This is my goal, for sure.
I have no doubt about it. Michael, go. Get ready for race 3. It's time to do it again.
Thank you very much.
And a quick word with Ma here. Talk us through that. That was frustrating for you. I'm sure it's fantastic to be up on the podium, but that Joker lap.
Of course, I want the winning, but yeah. In the Joker lap, I think we had a late. It's too late for the choice, so they did a really good job to undercut me. And anyway, I think Ascona, his pace is really fast. He did a really good job in this race, and we are a bit slower for the pace, but I try. But today the hot temperature is much more than we expect. So yeah, the car is not the perfect. So it's something we still need to carry on for next race. So it's not finished today. So you know, podium finish at the first race 2 is not bad.
It's not too,
Yeah.
not too bad indeed. Thank you very much, Mark. Off you go, get ready. And our current points leader, and you needed these points, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It was a good Sunday so far, with a good qualifying, and a lot better than yesterday. And yeah, well, then we managed to get into the top 10, which was the goal that we set for today. And then this gave us a reverse grid, P3. So very pleased with that. Well, from the other, this is totally sportive way, let's say, because of course in the in the feeling, I am with the Zion team and with the guy that passed away, and well, not the best situation, of course, to have it in WTCR family, but well, anyway, we just, of course, try to stick together and wishing all the best for the family.
Very well said. Thank you, Esteban.
Thank you.
Well, the standings see Esteban Guerrieri now 31 points clear of his closest rival, Norbert Mikulits. For the other Hyundai drivers, they are 11th, 12th and 13th in the standings. 10th, 11th and 12th. Augusto Farfus 10th. Gabriele Tarquini, last year's champion, 11th. And Nicky Katzberg in 12th place. So it is all about that one car now. For everybody else, focusing their attention, because you cannot go half-hearted out onto this circuit. Of that, there is no doubt. So cars at the moment waiting to be serviced. And let's catch up again with the points. Guerrieri and Mikulits 31 apart. Ted Björk a further 28 back, is that? Which makes 59 points, but I can't do subtraction. Nestor Girolami in 4th, narrowly ahead of Mikael Ashkenar. Ashkenar now 20 points ahead of Fredrik Vervisch. So he's starting to move further up the order. Those 25 points make such a huge difference to your day. And Mar as well. Look, he's almost on the tail now of Rob Huff, just 1 point behind him. And if Mar has another good race here, then he and Huff may well be starting to overtake some of the Hyundais who are going to struggle. And Rob Huff will definitely be hoping for a good race. He will start in 5th place on the grid. As far as we're aware, there are no changes to our race 3 grid. So Attila Tashi and Thiago Monteiro will be the two at the front of the field. Jan Elishay and Ivan Muller will line up on row 2 of the grid, and it's not beyond the bounds of possibility that we could have a Lynk & Co win, but it's going to be tough. We talked about Ashkenar being 5th in the standings. Look at PWR as well. Matt Neal, a brand new team in the championship. They're ahead of Sebastian Loeb Racing's better Volkswagen duo. They're ahead of half the Cyan Racing team. They're ahead of all the Audi teams. They're punching above their weight the same way that the two drivers are.
Yeah, it just, well, the whole thing's topsy-turvy, isn't it? The championship is fiercely competitive, whether you're fighting for last places. You know, like some Tom Coronel and Flash Find, you know, they're not trying any less than the guys at the front, and they're pretty seasoned guys, championship winners by their own right. And so there's, it doesn't matter where you are on the grid, what level you are, it's tough. And we've got a couple come to the fore. We've got the all Inkle Hondas who've been strong, been able to string some results together. We've got the BRC Hyundais as well, and everyone else has just sort of had a little bit of their fair share, but it means it's still wide open.
It really is. It, you know, it spreads the points around further and further, and the key is do what Guerrieri's doing, which is somehow, if you can get your nose in front, then it's grab every point that fate hands you. Well, hot and sweaty work for all our drivers from first to last. There's Attila Tashi, who'll be on pole for our final race. But let's hear first from Alex Le Gui in the pits.
Have you yet spoken to Kevin Chekon?
No, not yet. But it was a bit unfortunate. I mean, I suddenly realized that he's going quite slow on the braking of 18. And at that point, braking so hard, I didn't have a choice to move to the inside. And exiting the runoff, he was not going back on throttle. So this is why I guess he had some kind of an issue with the car. It was unfortunate. I'm really sorry for him. But yeah, my feeling is that already at that time his race was over. We have some damage on the car, but I think we can manage to repair for race 2, and I'll try to do my best to collect some points.
Were you expecting the drive-through as a result?
To be honest, just looking at the pictures, I think the stewards didn't have any other choice, because at that point they didn't realize probably that Kevin has a problem. And for me, honestly, I could have done nothing. Okay, the second push was a bit unfortunate because he was not accelerating. I was going back on throttle. That made some additional damage to his car, but I hope that he can start the race. I'm really sorry for him.
Well, Norby, as ever, puts his hand up to a mistake. Now, it wasn't necessarily all his fault.
He's such
but
a nice bloke, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure there's a cynical bone in his body. Now, you know, that might be him just being disingenuous, but he's as genuine as they come. Well, Alex is down in the pit lane, having just legged it back from the theatre after doing the podium ceremony, puffing and panting like she's finished a long run. Just heard from Norbert Mikulits over the incident with Kevin Chacon. There's the damage on Norby's car, and we've seen the wings torn off these cars by the tyre stacks before and replaced pretty quickly. They've only really got 10 minutes to do it in. They are getting Kevin Chacon's car ready to be squared up as well. Work that will have started during the race and now stops while the cars are in Parc Fermé. Let's catch up with Gabriele Tarquini.
Gabby, firstly,